So I just wanted to take a moment to address something that I think is very important that all people who suffer from anxiety need to consider. And that is that many people who suffer from anxiety have the idea that they just have anxiety and there's nothing they can do about that. Or if I take a pill that the doctor gave me, then that will help with my anxiety. But other than that, I'm just a person who suffers from anxiety. Or unless I have a few drinks or a smoke of this or that or whatever it is you might do, then I'm going to feel anxious and I need some kind of substance or something like that in order to not feel anxious. A lot of people who suffer from anxiety, myself formerly included, also have the idea of anxiety is just a part of reality. It's just always going to be something that I suffer from. Always something that I'm trying to get out of that state of anxiety. So you need to look at that idea that you have in your head, and you need to ask yourself, what is that serving me? Why do I have that idea? It's ridiculous. For whatever reason, we've been told to believe that. We've been told that there's some kind of chemical imbalance in our brain, or the wiring of our brain itself is somehow off and not normal, and that's why we're feeling anxiety. And even if that is true, that's not something that you need to subscribe to the belief of and allow it to cripple you like it does so many people. So let's take just that part, that thing that I just mentioned. People believing that there's something physically wrong with their brain, and it's just set that way, so they're always going to experience anxiety. Well, our brains don't just stay the same all the time. It's not you are done maturing physically and you're set with that brain for the rest of your life. That's not how it works. And if you don't believe me, research something called neuroplasticity. Our brains are always changing. Anything that you do repeatedly, any thought that you have repeatedly, any emotion you feel repeatedly, is going to physically change your brain. It's going to change the wiring of neurons. It's going to make new pathways. And it's going to change the way that your brain functions physically, chemically, all of that. I promise you this is true. Research neuroplasticity if you don't believe me. And even just to give this a thought, have you ever learned a new skill? Say it was playing the guitar, just as an example. You can imagine any skill that you've ever learned in your life. But you started out and you had no idea how to make any kind of coherent sound or any kind of real musical sound out of the guitar. You could barely even strum the strings in any kind of coordinated pattern. So you practice. You get yourself a sheet of music, you play your scales over and over and over and over, and pretty soon what was a very clumsy kind of, picking of the strings turned into a very skilled, a very skilled, skill that you have. I can't find the right words for that. But anyway, you went from not being able to play the guitar at all to being very adept at it. And all it took was time and repeated action, repeating those scales, playing them over and over and over again, until eventually it was just muscle memory. Now at that point, you have changed the wiring of your brain to the point where you don't have to think, okay, I'm playing this note, this note, this note, this note, this note. It's just you put out the intention that you're going to play a particular scale or a song, and you just play it. It's muscle memory at that point. You've changed the wiring of your brain and even your peripheral nervous system. So why isn't the same true when it comes to our anxiety, our emotions, our mental well-being? The only reason is because you believe it's not. You can absolutely change the way that you think, the way that you feel. You can absolutely heal from, overcome anxiety, and feel more peaceful. You can feel more relaxed. You can be a happier, more joyful, loving person. Absolutely. And it just takes practice, repetition. So you can go on believing that the only way to feel any relief from your anxiety, from your stress, from your emotional burdens is to take some kind of pill or drug. Or you can take matters into your own hands and through practice and, I would say, discipline, change the way that you think, feel, physically change your brain and change the way that you perceive not only your own struggle with anxiety, but change the way that you perceive just about everything. You can take charge and change yourself and become a better, more peaceful person today. Just start with simple practices. Learn how to become relaxed. Learn how to be mindful. And it will make an amazing difference in your life. So why not give it a try? What do you have to lose? Thank you for watching, and feel more peace.